Hey, everybody. Amie Pederson here. I am here with the lovely Molly from Active Campaign. She's going to be giving us kind of like Active Campaign 101, just all the basics that you actually need to get started with your email automation and how to even go about that. We've got 30 minutes together today. So I'm going to stop blabbering on and I'm going to turn it over to Molly. So thank you, Molly, for agreeing to do this. And I'm super excited for this tutorial.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy, for the introduction. Hi, everybody. I am just going to kind of quickly go through Active Campaign. It honestly is pretty user-friendly, but having said that, there's a lot to it. So it's easy to get a little bit confused. So just kind of a high level, we'll start here with the Contacts tab on the left-hand side. And pretty much your contacts are going to be the people that you're emailing to, right? This is an email marketing platform. So your contacts are really just going to be people who have opted in to receive email outreach from you. And basically our contacts are set up as an email address. So this is what it looks like. So you can see we have John David here in this account. We have his name, his email address, and the list that he belongs to. Also on the contacts page, you will see this setting up here for advanced search. This is arguably my favorite thing about Active Campaign. So you could just search for pretty much anything you want in here. So say you want to segment your customers specific to a tag. We can do that using the advanced search right here. We could just click search. Great. So it looks like Amy is the only person in here that has this tag. But again, moving forward, when you have more tags in your account, the advanced search is going to be an awesome way for you to kind of segment your customers even further.
Yes.
Great.
I haven't set that up and really gone head first into it. I haven't taken full advantage of some of the advanced offerings that I know I should be. So yeah, once I get into that, we'll do another training on that later.
Great. Sounds good. And then obviously you're going to want to have your lists too. So your lists are the broadest and kind of the first layer of segmenting your contacts. So the list really allows for high level organization of your customers. So we recommend there's quite a few lists in here. And that may be because you're not using tags as much yet, Amy, which we can talk about. But I usually recommend having fewer lists and really relying on tags to segment your customers.
Okay.
So here's where your contacts will live, though. It looks like our biggest list here is maybe this tax form. There's 65 people in it. So really just this is the broadest way to categorize and organize your customers. And then if we were to go back to the contacts tab here, we could start utilizing tags. So depending on the business, tags are just a really great way for you to understand kind of the behavior of your contacts. So maybe you're an e-commerce business and you're understanding that this customer is specifically interested in shoes. You can tag them with something like shoes. In this case, you can tag them with something like entrepreneurs, Amy, so that you're able to really kind of target your marketing to people who are in a specific group. Right. So that your marketing efforts are more effective. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is tags. And again, this is going to be the way for you to really, really segment your contacts so that you're sending the right message to the right people. So in this account, it looks like there's quite a few more lists than tags. Usually we recommend the opposite. Usually we recommend that there's more tags than lists. So that's just something for you to consider as you're kind of moving forward here.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other huge part of Active Campaign, obviously, is the campaign builder. So the campaigns is going to be where you're sending your really like one-off marketing collateral, right? So say you have a new event that you're hosting. This is where you're going to use that to really promote your business. Maybe you have a new product that's getting released. This is, again, just really your one-off marketing collateral that you're going to be sending. So to make a campaign, you would just go up here in the right-hand corner. It says New Campaign. And you can just, let's see, product release, name it anything. The standard form is going to be the most, obviously, standard. This is going to be the one that people typically use the most. So let's continue here just for the sake of time with this standard form. And then if you were to go next.
And I typically use the standard form because if you put, just from kind of going back to like an email send out type of thing, one of the things that I was always taught that I've also found more effective is the less stuff, the less fluff that you put into
Yep.
your email, the less likely it's going to be flagged as spam.
Absolutely, you're right. And really, when you think about people's inboxes, I mean, personally, if I open an email that's 8 paragraphs long, it's very rare that I'm going to read it all. So you really want to make sure that your marketing is pretty clear and concise. So definitely that's a good recommendation, Amie. Great. So here is where you would select your list. This is the second part of the campaign builder here. And let's just pick the blog list here. Don't worry, I'm not going to actually send anything out right now. Great. So let's go next. And then here's where you're going to actually design your campaign. So obviously, we have some in here that Amie has been working on. They look beautiful, but there are some other options for you in here as well. These are all free for you to use. They're completely customizable. But if you were ever to want to start from scratch, you can do that here. And again, let's just pick the newsletter. This is going to be the one that people use the most. But there are other options for you to consider as well.
One thing I learned the hard way, if you select the text only option, it doesn't give you like the feature to be able to then be like, oh, I need to drop in like a graphic or an image. It's
right.
Text only.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and here's where you would create your subject line. Product release. Wouldn't recommend that subject line. Try to make it something more exciting and enticing, but we can switch that up later. So here we're just going to click continue. Great. And then this is the actual campaign builder here. So everything in here is customizable. You can add other text boxes. Obviously, you can get rid of this text. You can change the fonts here. You also, here, let me show you. You can personalize. So this is a huge thing. If you want to, if you want to say hi first name, that's great. You can do that right there. Thank you for being with me. Great. So again, just keep in mind everything in here is customizable. You can always add a video if you wanted to embed a video. You would just enter the URL right here. This is also cool for you to remember if you want to add an action. So say, for example, when somebody watches this video, you can add a tag that says watched video. So then you know that this person took the time to really, oops, whatever, we didn't put a video URL in there, but you get the gist. So you can really tell that this person not only opened your email, but also took the time to watch your video.
Yes.
So basically then you can really kind of target your marketing there because you know that this person is specifically interested.
Right, right. No, I think is super awesome too, because that's kind of like, using that whole like pixel thing in Facebook where it really tells you like, this is your warm market because they're actually, opening and reading and watching your emails and videos.
Exactly. And you could even like a lot of, which we can go over if we get to automations today, there's an engagement tagging automation. And basically what that is doing is it's tagging your contacts based on how engaged they are with what you're sending them. So obviously if people are super, super engaged, you can continue to really hit them with different emails, different offers. And you can also kind of determine which people aren't as engaged and you can stop focusing your time on those types of people. So if we get to automations today, I'll show you those. But let's get back to the campaign builder here. So again, everything here is just, you can drag it over. Very much customizable. So I recommend, everyone who has an active campaign account come in here and just kind of toggle around with some different things and play with it a little bit.
Awesome.
Okay. So then we would just go to next here. And this is going to be our campaign summary. So again, here we'll have the opportunity to switch up the subject line. We can change any text, we can change who it's from, and we can also change the list that it's being sent to. Open and read tracking is going to stay on. That's how we'll know who's opening your emails, which is awesome. If there was a link in there, we can turn link tracking on, and then you can also preview what the email will look like right here.
Perfect. Okay. So easy.
So easy. Very, very easy. So obviously, if you were to send this, you would click send now. I don't want to because I did not create a pretty campaign. So I'm just going to click save and exit. And then right here, it's always going to be the most recent one too. So if you ever want to come in here and mess with that, change it up, you can do that right here.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions on that, Amie?
Nope, I'm pretty good with that. So that's basically just like your one-off. I call them like an email blast. Like I just want to send, I just did the most exciting thing. I'm just going to send a quick email. It's not something that you necessarily, I mean, you can schedule out that post, but you don't necessarily have to do that.
Right, exactly. Perfect. Cool. The other thing that I really wanted to touch on today was forms.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what forms are is it's the way that your customers are opting into something on your website. It's your way of knowing their information and how and what they're interested in essentially. So what this looks like is you would just go up here. It's very similar to the campaign builder. So let's just say newsletter opt in. Great. So we're just going to do the inline form because that's the one available on this account. And then for this, we're just going to hit subscribes to a list because we want anybody who submits this form to be in our list. So ideally, we would probably have like a newsletter list here. But
Right.
for the sake of time, we're just going to do the blog one.
So
Great.
basically what I've done for these different forms is I've used them for like my opt-ins. So that way I can kind of, instead of using the tags, I just popped them into their
Yep.
various lists.
Mm-hmm.
And, like if they opted in for say like my passion to profit type of workbook, then I just dumped them right into that list and then straight into that automation. So that's kind of how I set that up.
Yep.
But
Oh, you're exactly right. That's smart. Yeah, no, that's totally makes sense. And then I just want to show you too how to add a custom field. Amie, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but a lot of our customers will do this because this is really just a way of getting the
yes,
most information from their customers up front. So a lot of people will just say like, what are you most interested in? And if that's coaching, if that's
health
products,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And obviously I'm just making this up as we
Right,
go.
right, right.
But a specific business would have, several different options of what they can provide.
Right.
And
So for me, I would put in something like, is it branding, marketing,
right,
like that type of
exactly,
stuff.
exactly. So then you can just hit add, and then I can drag this custom field, over to the form. So then when
Oh.
a contact is on this page, they can tell me what I'm interested in, and then
Mm-hmm.
automatically that will be under their contact custom fields. So we'll just be able to, again, tell what they're most likely to be interested in, what they're likely to purchase.
Got it.
Okay. And
And
again,
then,
obviously this, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, is there a place, I mean, I know how to do it, but
Mhm.
can you show us like, so that we're GDPR compliant, that we have a place that we can link our privacy policy?
Yes. Let's see. Standard. Where is it? Give me just 1 second. I know you can add a link right here. My fields. Why can't I find it right now? I do know that that's.
I do this all the time. I'm like,
I know it exists. Amie, can you direct me to where it is
So
on
what
here?
I typically do is I usually just add another field of text and then like put in the hyperlink so that
Got
they.
it. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. So you can do that. And then again, I just want to say that obviously all of this is changeable. You can make this look pretty. Everything in here is customizable. You can also take off the AC branding at the bottom right there, which is important to note. Okay. And then this is all looking good. And then you would just click integrate up here.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And a couple things to note here. This simple embed is typically the best option because any changes that you make to the form will automatically be updated with this simple embed, meaning you only have to put this into your footer or header of your website one time. If you
Nice.
so if you were to use the full embed, that's totally fine as well. However, if you make any changes, you will have to update this every single time you make a change.
Got it.
Okay, just something to consider. And then I wanted to mention this to you and to your audience because I'm sure social media is huge for
Yes.
all of your businesses. So if you were to just copy this link into a new browser, you can also send the form this way. So say, for example, you have an Instagram page and you want to put this in the bio of your Instagram to just collect customer information. That's a great option. If you want to tweet this out at any point, that's an option for you as well. It's just another way to really gather customer information.
Perfect.
Okay.
You can also hyperlink that into an email so people can
Yes,
share it.
exactly, exactly. And then if you do have a WordPress site, which I imagine a lot of you do, you could just download the WordPress plugin right here, and this will automatically integrate to your WordPress account.
Perfect.
Same goes for Facebook. So lots of options for you there.
Okay.
Great. So that's forms. Super, super important in gathering customer information.
Yes.
And then, Amie, did you want to touch on automations, or I know that's
let's
kind of
show them
okay.
what the next step is. So ultimately, right, you set up a list. Okay, I'm going to be putting out a new freebie, like the most recent. So right now, for me, for perfect example, I'm going to be doing a free live challenge next week on, telling your story and creating your personal brand. So I'm going to be giving a prize, but everybody has to be registered for the prize. And then they have to, and that's also how I'm going to be sending them their workbook, is through an email automation. So
Perfect.
what I'm doing is, and I may not even integrate this through ClickFunnels. I haven't decided yet, because they're being kind of, their integration API stuff is being kind of wonky. But so basically, when you go to register, you click the link, you give me your name and your email address, and then I will put you into an automation where you will get a, hey, thank you. This is, where you'll find the live videos for the challenge starting on Tuesday.
Perfect.
Make sure you're in this group. It's free. And then also here's your workbook, and then kind of just some other basic instructions. Also in that email. So, but what that does is, the way that I kind of perceive that I would set it up is that it would be like, okay, so you register, then I'm collecting your name and email. You're getting dropped into this free live challenge list per se. And then you go through the automation. So that's something that I don't have to then go in and manually email or, personal message, I don't know, 100 or 200 people their workbook.
Right.
Nor do I want to go in and try and figure out, okay, these are the 300 or 400 people who actually signed up. I want to give them a reminder, so it's kind of like, all right, no.
This takes all of that off your
Yes.
plate, which is great. This is really, the automations are really the bread and butter of what we do here at Active Campaign. And this is how we combine everything that we've previously talked about to make everything so much easier for our customers, which is great. So definitely think it's important to talk about automations. And Amie, I'll try to make this as close to what you just described as I can.
Perfect.
So this is, again, just up here, new automation in the right-hand corner. And keep in mind, I mentioned earlier about engagement tagging. These are 2 recipes that we have here, totally free to use. They're pretty much foolproof. So feel free to kind of take a look in these as you have some free time, because there's some awesome pre-built recipes. But it's also always good to know how to build these your own or by yourself.
And one thing that you and I had talked about, prior to the call over the last couple of days, is that, so like we're doing kind of just Active Campaign 101, just like the bare bones basics to get everybody started. But you guys have such advanced features, and even down at the bottom corner over here, that help feature is so useful.
Oh yeah.
But you guys have like weekly webinars where people can, and they're totally free. Anybody who has Active Campaign can hop onto that webinar and get those more advanced.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, truthfully, one of my favorite things about working here is just that our education team. There's so much resources online. If you just Google like Active Campaign and then whatever issue you're having, there's pretty much an article for it. If not, there's a live webinar that walks you through it. So it's really, really extensive, all of the resources that we have. And this help feature at the bottom is great too. Anytime you need something from our support team, you can just chat them via the help feature down there.
I love chat.
Yes, it's honestly really great. So thank you for saying that, Amie, because I know our education team works really hard to provide all those resources. And shameless plug, there is a live webinar every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And that will be just more of a way to give you an overview of kind of getting started with Active Campaign. So Amie, I can send you that link to register after this call. Great. Okay, cool. So back to automation here, and I'm just going to show you, I went and I built it from scratch right here. Great. I click continue. And then this next thing that it's going to prompt you to is called the start trigger. So obviously there's a bunch of them here, but the main ones that people usually use are submits a form. So basically that form we just built out that asks what they're interested in. If they submit that form, that's going to automatically start them in this automation. So for the sake of time, let's just click submit a form because that's pretty much the one that people use the most. So, and then we're going to select the form that we just created. So it doesn't really matter because it was kind of a dummy form. So you would just select the form that you want. And then here it's asking you how often do you want this to run. If people come to your website one time, we're just going to let them fill out this form once. However, if people are coming back several times, they are allowed to fill it out multiple times. So I don't know, I don't really see why not to let people fill it out multiple times if they're going to give you different information and it's going to give you more kind of, I don't know the right word, but more kind of ammo to help you target them better. Why not? So let's do multiple times. Great. So this is going to be your start trigger. So what this is saying is these people came to your website and they submitted your form.
Right.
Now you have several different options. So this is what this looks like. This is going to be your first step.
And so here, this additional add new trigger could be like if they are, you could put your tags in there too, right? Like if they're tagged a certain way, then they could go into this automation?
Yes, you could. But we do typically recommend not having too many start triggers because if a person hits, 3 of the 4 start triggers, they're going to go down this automation 2 times. So definitely something to keep in mind as you start, thinking about automations. But yes, you're absolutely right. If they had a tag right here, they would also move down.
Okay.
Okay. And then Amie, you were talking about, great. So they submitted your form and you want to send them an email. So you would just do that right here and you would have to create an email, which we've gone through. So for the sake of time, again, we'll just do email 1. This will take you to the email builder. And we're just going to right now click save and exit because you guys are familiar with how to do this part.
Right.
Awesome. Great. So what this is saying, these people submitted your form, you sent them an email, and then maybe you want to give them a couple days. So say you want to wait, let's say 2 days for these people to interact with this email. Are you with me so far?
Yep.
Then we can build out, it depends on where you want to take this automation, Amie. If you want to build out, like we can see who opened the email, who didn't open the email. There's a lot of different things we can do here. So you kind of tell me what you think is best and most applicable for your audience.
So basically what I typically do, and I think this is probably the most applicable for anybody who's really just getting started, like what I do is, so if somebody opts in for a freebie, I then send them through like a 5-day nurture sequence, kind of like a likable lady, like getting to know you type of sequence. Like, hey, here's a little bit more information about me. So the first one is, hey, thank you for signing up for my video and workbook. Here's that.
Okay.
And then the next day is like, hey, I hope that you were enjoying the video and workbook. If you have any questions about the workbook or anything else, feel free to click reply. Here's a little bit of backstory about me.
Awesome.
And so then I only do, and I've only ever had one person complain that, a nurture
it was too much.
5 was too many.
Okay.
But so I usually do wait a day, or you could do wait 2 days and then send an email, wait a day, send an email, wait a day.
No, I think you're thinking about that totally right. So here you wouldn't obviously want to send another email that's the same one. So you would just hit create a new email. And here, let's be really creative and name this email 2.
That's what I do. I call it like likable lady day 1.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and you don't have to worry. I mean, definitely keep in mind things in ActiveCampaign are pretty much always going to stay internal. So name your tags what is going to be easy for you to identify. Name your emails what is going to be easy for you to identify. That's just kind of a helpful tip because you don't want to come to it later and be like, oh, what did that tag mean again? Like, I don't remember. So really make sure that you're naming things specific. Okay, nope, I didn't mean to click that. Sorry about that. So again, I'm just building out exactly what you said. You're going to have a nurturing sequence with wait steps in between. Obviously, everything in here is customizable. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as granular as we can get in the allotted amount of time. But if you guys needed an additional training on really diving into automations, we can do that. But yeah, is there anything else, Amie, that I may not have touched on that you wanted to make sure we covered?
The only thing that I've ever done different is in the form is sometimes I will assign the list directly from the form. That's the only thing that I think I've ever done different, but that's only because that's how I learned to do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you'll notice in ActiveCampaign, there's, at least 3 different options to get to one desired outcome most of the time.
Yeah.
So it really just is kind of however you learn it. There's no right or wrong way typically. So if that's how you're comfortable doing it, that's fine. There's no problem with that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. I think that is enough to get everybody really started.
Awesome. That is good to hear. And again, I will send you some additional resources. We have an awesome education training course that I took when I was starting out here that helped me learn a ton. And yeah, again, there's just so many resources available for you and for your contacts here. So yeah, I will send that over to you.
And then when they're at the pro level, which is one level up from this, once you have 1,000 followers or whatever that next level is, one thing that's worth knowing is you can get a free 30-minute session, private, like this one, every month.
Yep.
So as you're growing your business, which once you get to 1,000 people on your list, yeah, you're growing your business. So
right. Yeah, no, that's not easy to do. So definitely. But yeah, our support team or our success team, it's what I'm on. We're always here to help. So if you guys have questions when you're getting set up and you need additional training, I can send you the link to make sure that we can all speak.
Awesome.
All right.
Amazing. Awesome. So I will share the link for the weekly webinars, and we will definitely get this up and posted so everybody can get moving in their automation and save themselves some time.
That's right. That's the number one goal, isn't it?
Yes. Work
okay.
smarter,
Well,
not harder. Definitely.
Exactly. All right, Amie. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'll be following up with an email, so be on the lookout for that.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You also. Bye-bye.
Bye.